Coming up on Transformers University, your favorite character is probably about to die. It's Marvel's Underbase Saga plus one other issue right now on Transformers University.
Welcome to Transformers University, brought to you by TFU.INFO. Wait and see. From toys and comics, cartoons to the screen, we'll dive into the history. Know what I mean? Transformers University, brought to you by TFU.INFO. Info, where the stories unfold, the legends grow with the owner, operator, Method Anthony. Transformers University, it's the place to be. Autobots and Decepticons, battles and lore. Every twist and turn, we've got the score. From Cybertron's depths to the Earth's shore, it meets the eye and so much by TFU.INFO. Info, where the stories unfold, the legends grow with the owner, operator, Method Anthony. Transformers University, it's the place to be. It's the place to be. Zoom in, transform, and roll out with us at Transformers University. It's a must.
Hello, my friend, and welcome back to Transformers University. This is episode number 156, and I am your host, Anthony Brucali, owner, operator, madman behind TFU.INFO, the website, the toy archive, this podcast, TFU News and Views podcast, and oh so much more. I want to welcome you to this Marvel Comics US edition of Transformers University. If you've been up on the news, just last month, Skybound did this incredible Marvel US and Marvel UK Kickstarter that has shattered all sorts of Kickstarter comic book records. I did not hop on it because I have a lot of the issues already, but it's a wonderful and incredible collection. And if you hopped on it, drop me a line. Let me know. Let me know what you think about being a part of it. And let me know if you're using it to read along with this podcast as we do Marvel US and Marvel UK. You can catch me on Blue Sky, that is bsky.social. My username there is TFU.INFO, all one word. So please come on by and check it out. And also, do not forget to check out our Patreon. Patreon.com/TFU.INFO, all one word. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month. And that gets you early access to this show, plus all sorts of other things. We have levels from $1 all the way up to our seniors and our super seniors who get thanked right now on the show. So shout out to our seniors: Alex Mendoza, Eric Sire, John Forex Levengood, Jay Soups, Paul Heel, Rob Gerbracht, and Sean Hamilton. I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of this Patreon, being a part of supporting this show, and TFU.INFO, the website. All of that is such a huge help. Your support is incredibly appreciated. Not just my seniors and my super seniors, but everyone who's part of the Patreon. And there's even a free level. So if you just want to hang out, and every so often I post something on the free level, come check it out. So as I said, today we are talking Marvel US numbers 48 through 51. So we've got 4 issues here, plus a giant-sized 50th issue within this. So let's get right to it. Issue number 48, The Flames of Boltax. It's the Underbase Saga Part 2, written by Bob Budiansky, pencils by Jose Delbo, inks by Danny Bulanati, letters by Bill Oakley, colors by Nel Yomtov, and edits by Don Daly. The cover features artwork from Jose Delbo and Dave Hunt. It's Megatron standing with some Decepticons over a smoldering Optimus Prime corpse, and the text reads, "The return of Megatron, the end of Optimus Prime." Megatron died 25 issues ago in issue 24, so it's been a while since we've seen him, and it'll be a while until we see him in this issue. We start with Buster Witwicky in a danger room type scenario, and we discover the Decepticons have installed Real Vision.
Thanks for installing Real Player.
And much like installing Real Player, they did this to watch something and listen to something. And this time they did it to listen to the playback from Rain Dance and Grand Slam, who the Seacons must have found in the ocean between issues, because Blaster spit them out in the last issue from his mouth. Probably also installed and downloaded Beast Machine Season 2 episodes from Canada, where it aired first, just like the rest of us did to watch that. And, of course, to listen to vintage Radio Free Cybertron. Of note here, Soundwave is drawn without his faceplate, and this was weirdly edited in the IDW Classics version to give him some sort of like faceplate that wasn't actually a faceplate. It's all strange. Seeing Soundwave minus faceplate is worthwhile on its own, and we're going to see that a couple times in these coming issues. Buster, not allowed to watch tapes. He was not allowed in that part of the video store. The Decepticons, they load those tapes into Real Vision. We find out that Rain Dance does the video, Grand Slam is the audio. It's an interesting technique that they both have separate pieces of the playback. And the playback has Cybertron pre-war. And we find Optimus leading the Triggerbots, Dogfight, Override, and Backstreet.
All right.
And they're on their way to Boltax. Circuit Master Boltax has the greatest database on Cybertron. Now, as owner-operator madman of TFU.INFO, I disagree. The Decepticons watch as the bots navigate obstacles to get to Boltax. Elsewhere, Buster is trying to escape his cell. In the Real Vision, we see Megatron and friends as they watch the Autobots, using the Autobots to learn how to navigate their way through the obstacles. The Autobots arrive at Boltax. He is a bot and a temple, and his disciples arrive. They tell the Autobots to turn back. Optimus tells the Triggerbots to turn back and set up a camp, and he will continue on. Elsewhere, Buster Witwicky figures out the security system and escapes a trap. Meanwhile, the Megatron and the Triggercons arrive at the Disciples. And what do you do when you arrive there if you're Megatron? You kill everyone. So Megatron kills all the Disciples. Optimus ends up meeting Boltax. Boltax describes that within every Transformer, there is a core of knowledge called a database. Boltax introduces Optimus to a collection of knowledge that underlies all the databases, the Underbase. Now, it's an interesting piece of Transformers lore because this is one we haven't revisited since this story. And we'll talk about it for the next couple of issues. But it's an important piece of Transformers lore, much like Vector Sigma and the Allspark and a few other pieces that we've talked about currently, and ones we'll talk about a lot in the future. It's funny that this one hasn't come back because there's a lot of potential here. And you'll see. Let's move on. Meanwhile, Buster continues his escape, and Optimus is bathed in beams of light from the Underbase, because the Underbase is encoded in light. Megatron encounters Boltax and punches a hole through his chest.
But I hope you leave enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it into your stomach!
No! Megatron encounters Optimus, and Optimus points out that Boltax is the entire mountain. Megatron only killed a puppet of Boltax. Optimus tells Megatron that the Underbase is too dangerous for any one Transformer, will only lead to madness and death. Remember that, folks. The Decepticons fire, and Megatron gloats. Optimus sneaks away and uses the main controls on the computer inside of Boltax's temple to close the vents at the top of the mountain. This is where excess energies are escaping from the mountain. But this, now that they're closed up and the vents are closed, Boltax is about to implode. And so he fires the Underbase off into space. Soundwave reveals the course of the Underbase and realizes that it's entering Earth's solar system in less than 1 week. Buster, spying on everything, gets caught. And such is the end of this issue. Now, we'll never hear of Boltax again, at least not in any official capacity I know of. But there is a fantastic Transformers website that uses that name. It is called The Disciples of Boltax. You can Google it. It is famed Transformers writer Jim Sorensen's website and has lots of obscure information about the Transformers. So do yourself a favor if you love Transformers history, if you like this podcast, check out the Disciples of Boltax website. Just Google Disciples of Boltax and you should find it pretty quickly. Now, moving on to issue number 49, entitled Cold War, the Underbase Saga Part 3. Written by Bob Budiansky, pencils by Jose Delbo, inks by Danny Bulanati, colors by Nel Yomtov, letters by Bill Oakley, and edits by Don Daly. Cover by Jose Delbo and Danny Bulanati. which says Decepticon versus Decepticon. And it has this very classic Marvel same side versus each other kind of thing. Like, not giant size X-Men #1, but like, I guess it's X-Men number 100, where the giant size new X-Men fight off against the original X-Men, and there's kind of like some come from the left, some come from the right. You've seen it on some other stuff: X-Men versus Avengers, maybe even Transformers versus Avengers. It's a common comic book trope, and this one is no different. And features Starscream holding Buster in the middle of the page, kind of in the foreground as it reveals a bit of what is going on within the book. And it starts with Decepticons at Decepticon Island taking their battle stations, the Predacons, the Triple Changers, the Cassettes. A ship is landing, and Piranacom merges and forms and tries to stop the ship, but Starscream calls him off. The ship is Scorponok and friends, and Scorp is angry that they were attacked by fellow Decepticons. Starscream appears to be playing the middle here between Scorponok and Ratbat. Ratbat is appalled when he finds out that Nebulons are piloting these Decepticons as they reveal themselves. Somewhere out in the Caribbean, Power Master Optimus Prime, Blaster, and Spike ride on Fortress Maximus's vehicle mode.
I got my swim trucks and my flippy floppies.
Like a boat. And that is the last time we will see Fortress Maximus in vehicle mode in this series. It is kind of weird that they use as a boat because they're just like standing on him and they eat up a lot of space. It's not like he's huge and they're tiny. They're all kind of the same size. But Decepticon Island, the tropical island, is no longer in the Caribbean. We find out that it is in the Arctic, and Starscream gives a tour, joining Scorponok and his new friends around the base until they come across Buster. They show Buster, and Starscream talks about how he was about to execute him. And Buster lets slip the information about the Underbase. Scorponok, angry, goes to discuss it with Ratbat. He's going to talk to Starscream's manager. And we find out that Buster's lines were a bit of a ruse set by Starscream. Scorponok and Ratbat, they argue, and Scorponok and company prepare to leave. But the Predacons run out and stop the headmasters, as they're not letting them leave, as Starscream and Buster take to the air and slip away in the confusion. So Scorponok and the headmasters, they attack the Predacons. Decepticons on the ship join in and mob the base. Razorclaw sees what's going on and warns Ratbat and a miscolored Thundercracker. Yep, he's colored like Starscream in the panel, but he's called Thundercracker. So now we've got the Decepticons at the base counterattacking. And now we're going to get some Decepticon violence and a lot of body horror. So strap in. Buzzsaw rips off Cutthroat's arm. Blitzwing slices Horrible in half. Astrotrain takes to train mode to just drive over people. Bugley shoots down Skywarp. Rampage rips off Apeface's ape arm, which Apeface then uses to club Rampage. Scorponok rips Tantrum in half, literally in half. And then Bomb Burst feeds on Soundwave. We get Soundwave again without a faceplate. But then he sees Ratbat and shoots him down. And elsewhere, Starscream drops Buster off not too far from the battle. They say it's about 2 miles. And they're in the Arctic. Buster is wearing just a t-shirt. It's a white t-shirt. It'll change color later. But this issue, it's a white t-shirt. He gives Buster a signal beacon. It's got one button on it that will call the Autobots. Starscream's plan? Press the button. Autobots arrive, Decepticons unite, and fight the Autobots. Starscream leaves Buster with the choice to push the button or, eventually freeze to death. As he does that, as the fight continues between the Decepticons, Starscream steals Scorponok's ship, flies away, and Buster activates the beacon. And that wraps up issue 49 of Marvel US Transformers. This is an awesome place to be in, right? This story is really taking off. There's a lot of action. There's really not a lot for me to comment on because the issue is so good. There's not a lot of plot holes. We see where this is going. And really, for the first time in the comics, Starscream is Starscream. And I really, really like this. Starscream is conniving and trying for power, which we haven't seen in the comic. Starscream was killed back in issue 19. He's kind of been non-existent since. And he was always a big part of the cartoon, but never really a big part of the comic. So seeing him here in issue 48 and 49, and then as we're going to get into this final part of the Underbase Saga in issue 50, it's great feeling that Starscream is a big bad. Starscream is this mastermind. He is not, just Megatron's lackey. He is not just a background character, which he has been for most of this comic. He is someone to be reckoned with, and we will see in the next issue just how dangerous Starscream is. But first, I need you to listen to this. Hey, want to help out this podcast or the website TFU.INFO? There's a number of ways you can do it. Let me tell you how. You can help us directly by joining our Patreon and enrolling as a student at Transformers University. There, you'll get early access to the podcast as well as exclusive behind-the-scenes peeks and perks for as little as $1 a month. Sign up is quick and easy. Just swing on by to www.patreon.com/TFUINFO. Another way you can help us is by using our Amazon link, www.tfu.info/Amazon. Type that into your browser whenever you want to shop at Amazon, and a portion of what you spend will be contributed back to us. It's that easy. Finally, you don't become the world's longest running transforming toy archive without some help from other fans. We're always on the hunt for photos of figures and accessories we're missing from our pages. If you'd like to contribute, go to tfu.info/help for a list of what we need, or send an email to info@tfu.info. tfu.info, the Alpha Trion and Omega Prime of transforming toys. Now, back to the show. And that takes us to issue number 50. The Underbase Saga, Part 4, a giant-sized issue entitled Dark Star. Written by Bob Budiansky, pencils by Jose Delbo, inks by Dave Hunt, letters by Rick Parker. Who? Rick Parker. We haven't heard from him since issue 31, Car Wash of Doom. It's been 19 issues. It's been a year and a half in comic book time since Rick Parker has lettered an issue of Transformers. Colors, once again, by Nel Yomtov, and edits by Don Daly. We have a cover which features Starscream immersed in the Underbase power by Jose Delbo and Danny Bulanati. And we start with the Underbase flying through space like this. Narration talks about how it is an amassed knowledge preserved in a pattern of light. It attracts those who seek enlightenment and those who seek power. For me, like, this is not too far off from now. The times, as my friend Mike Seibert likes to say on his podcast, Two Mikes, Too Furious. When we're talking about AI, it could be something for enlightenment and enriching. It's a tool, right? Or it can be used for terrible things, all depending on how you use it and what your intentions are. And the Underbase is really no different. It can destroy planets and suns, and it's headed right towards Earth. Enter Chapter 1. Air raid, fireflight, and skydive rescue a freezing Buster Witwicky on a glacier or a piece of ice somewhere. Skydive doesn't even know who he is. Or as my friend Jen from Stasis Pod likes to say, they are her dumb boys.
Gee, maybe we should get to cover before they attack us.
Fireflight, we're in the past. Megatron doesn't know who we are.
How could Megatron not know who we are?
Now, the Decepticons form a truce between themselves and begin repairs. This is because they've seen Starscream steal the ship. They realize Starscream is up to something, setting them against each other, and it's time to move on. Soundwave, without a face mask, detects incoming Autobot invasion forces, and the Decepticons start to get ready. On the ice, Fort Max turns into Cerebros, turns into Spike, and runs out to his brother, Buster. Fort Max has a place in his chest compartment there where he puts Buster to help bring his body temperature up. He's protecting him inside of himself. And the Autobots realize they've walked into a trap. And the Decepticons attack. And this is a neat panel of various attacks. No terrible bits of body horror, though Buzzsaw does get some revenge on Omega Supreme for, essentially killing him in issue 19 and taking him offline for most of this series. We head to chapter 2. Starscream's ship is hurtling towards the underbase. Fortress Maximus fights cautiously because having his brother in his chest, and fights cautiously with Ratbat. Buster is shaken loose, and Ratbat threatens him. But Buster smartly reveals Starscream's plan. Fortress Maximus and Ratbat both order respective ceasefire to their teams. Optimus warns them about the underbase and gives his word to help the Decepticons stop Starscream. We've got a team up, folks. The Autobots and Decepticons, they work together to get the island ship ready for launch, and then they take off. Out in space, Starscream begins to absorb the underbase, but is suddenly interrupted by a blast from the Decepticon island ship. Optimus Prime uses the system there and targets a missile and hits Starscream. They think Starscream might be dead, but he arises with some immense power. Starscream takes the ship, the Scorponok ship that he stole, and throws it directly into the Decepticon island ship, shattering the dome and sending everyone flying through space like this. Chapter 3. Starscream heads to Earth to overthrow the planet. We find out that Buster is safe inside of Fortress Maximus, and Optimus, for plot convenience, has had the Ark nearby and radios to it and summons it. The Autobots and Decepticons board the Ark, and Ratbat decides that they will split into teams led by one Autobot and one Decepticon and get to Earth. They do this to protect their target cities. How they landed on these 3 cities, I have no idea. But they picked 3 big cities. Scorponok and Grimlock are going to go to Tokyo. Blaster and Ratchet will head to New York City, and Optimus and Soundwave will head to Buenos Aires. Hold that thought. Optimus refuses to go. He feels he needs to protect Buster no matter the cost. So Fortress Maximus is going to go in his place. Hours later in New York City, under the Brooklyn Bridge, Starscream is incoming, and the carnage is about to begin. I'm going to warn you now, if you love early G1 characters, anything pre-1987, strap in, because your favorites are about to die. Starscream, infused with the underbase power, flies into New York, and Ratbat intercepts him just long enough for Jetfire and the aerial bots to attack him from behind. Starscream knocks all 5 aerial bots out of the sky in one shot, and they, much like everyone else who's about to get hit by Starscream, is presumably dead. Jetfire shoots Starscream onto the bridge.
But I think I'll take him to the bridge. 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 All right, if I take him, yo.
And there he is greeted by a bunch of Autobots on the bridge. Until Starscream kills them all. That's right. Down goes Hound, Bluestreak, Mirage, Hoist, Brawn, and Gears. Goldbug's there, and he lunges at Starscream and gets ripped apart again. Jazz tries to get Starscream and shoots him off the bridge, but Starscream shoots him as well, and Jazz is also terminated. Starscream's knocked into the water, and the Seacons attack, and the Seacons get killed just 3 issues after they were introduced. Starscream then flies up, shoots, and kills Jetfire. Watching the carnage, Ratbat flees, leaving Blaster alone to fight Starscream. Blaster loses the fight and is left to die in the East River. Starscream then heads to Tokyo. Aboard the Ark, Optimus Prime and Haikyuu work on something called a reflector rocket. Grimlock radios in that Starscream has found the Throttlebots. Haikyuu casually mentions that he just rebuilt them. Because the last time we saw them, they were brains stuck inside of toy cars. And this goes to the art of laying out comics, because next page, the Throttlebots die. Next panel, Starscream's killing them. Next panel. He then shoots down his old buddies, Thundercracker and Skywarp. Now they are both presumably dead. Starscream then shoots the Dinobot, particularly Sludge and Swoop, and then kills all of the Predacons. He then tries to kill the Decepticon Pretenders, but it doesn't work for some reason. Grimlock attacks Starscream, and Starscream grabs him and places him in the line of fire from the Pretenders, killing Grimlock and leaving his smoking corpse on the ground in Tokyo. We head to Buenos Aires, where a bunch of Decepticons try to intercept Starscream and die. And those Decepticons being Astrotrain, Blitzwing, Octane, Buzzsaw, and Laserbeak. And then Starscream heads atop the Obelisco. Now, the Obelisco is a monument very similar to the Washington Monument, though a touch smaller. And you wonder why Buenos Aires, as far as cities go. They didn't pick a city in Europe, right? Like they have North America, Asia, and then South America. But no Paris, no London, no Cairo. So it's interesting that he goes to Buenos Aires. The reason he's probably going to Buenos Aires is that penciler Jose Delbo is Argentinian. So down in Argentina, the Technobots and Terracons attack Starscream and are wiped out and destroyed. Soundwave shoots Starscream down out of the air, but then Starscream takes out both Soundwave and Fortress Maximus. He lifts the Obelisco to crush Fortress Maximus, but Omega Supreme catches it and sets it down gently. Starscream remembers issue 19 and kills Omega Supreme. He's about to kill Fortress Maximus when Buster radios in for an update. Starscream realizes Optimus Prime isn't here. He hasn't been in any of the cities and anticipates a plot against him. So Starscream tracks the radio signal from Buster and goes out after the Ark, vowing to return to kill Fortress Maximus. On to Chapter 4. Haikyuu launches this reflector rocket at the Underbase. Just when Scorponok and Ratbat arrive, accusing Optimus of treachery, thinking he wants the Underbase and its power for himself. Elsewhere, the rocket intercepts the Underbase and opens deflector shields to disperse the light, changing the course of the Underbase. The Underbase is redirected towards the Ark. Inside of the Ark, Scorponok shoots Ratbat and then Optimus Prime and plans on taking the Underbase power. Turns out Ratbat might just very well be dead. The Underbase is headed towards Scorponok when Optimus recombines with Haikyuu, gets some of his power back, and arrives to move Scorponok and himself out of the way of the Underbase. The Underbase, as it's hurtling through space, hits Starscream, who bathes in its power. And then he grows to a tremendous size. And then he explodes. Too much power. The Underbase is too much for one Transformer to manage or hold. It only leads to madness and death. And such, Starscream is no more. We wrap as Buster reveals the call to Fortress Maximus was planned. They used Starscream as bait, just in the same way that Starscream used him as bait to lure the Autobots into the attack. Optimus reveals that the Underbase power was more dangerous to any Cybertronian without organic bits, which is why the Pretenders weren't harmed by Starscream's fire in the same way the other Autobots and Decepticons were. It's also a convenient way to write out anyone from before 1987. We end with a truce between the Autobots and the Decepticons as they grab their dead and their wounded, but the war will begin again anew after that. And such, we wrap up issue number 50 of Marvel US Transformers. Now, there's a massive death toll in this issue. I don't want to count the number of bodies, but there's a lot. Some characters also were implied to die off-panel. We'll learn about that as we go along. A few of these characters will return in some capacity. And the story also provides some storytelling opportunities for our friends with Marvel UK. And we'll get to those issues relatively soon. First, we're going to get to one more issue of Marvel US. Where do you go from here? How do you take this story somewhere else and wrap up the calendar year of 1988 for Transformers comics? Well, issue 51 is called The Man in the Machine. The cover says Slaughter on the Slopes. It features a brand new Transformers logo with art by Jose Delbo and Danny Bulinati, a headless Fortress Maximus in the colors of his Headmaster 1 appearance. And he's getting attacked by the Pretender Beasts. The story is written by Bob Budiansky, pencils by Jose Delbo, inks by Dave Hunt, letters by Bill Oakley, colors by Nel Yomtov, and edits by Don Daly. It starts out with Spike having nightmares about machines attacking him. I feel like these might be the dreams that Officer Fanzone in Transformers Animated has every night.
This is why I hate machines.
The next morning, Spike is headed skiing, but stopping in San Francisco to meet his buddy Cliff. The only Cliff I know from San Francisco is Cliff Burton, and he died 2 years prior in 1986. Oh, and he's also going to get rid of his headmaster helmet. He doesn't need it since he brought rescued Buster, but Spike's then recounts leaving the Autobots. In this flashback, we see Sea Spray moving the body of Blaster on a stretcher, presumably to the morgue. Fortress Maximus's body is in storage, and it is headless. Much like my Titans Return one right now. I need to find a good shelf for it, really. Spike mentions he can use the helmet to summon Fortress Maximus at any time before driving to a dump to toss it away. Spike then goes and meets his friend Cliff in San Francisco, and they drive off to their ski trip. At the dump, two humans find the helmet before being scared away by the Decepticon Pretender Beast, Carnivac and Snarler. The beasts use the scent in the helmet to attract the car. They can smell the scent of Buster's car's fuel. Spike, as he and Cliff are driving, has another nightmare just before they make it to the resort. At the resort, Carnivac and Snarler appear on the slopes. The fuel scent is on both Spike and Cliff, so they don't know which guy to kill. So they chase them both, and the chase is on. Spike and Cliff ski their way through the mountains. They ditch their jackets and they hide, using the scent of their jackets to throw off the Pretender Beasts. They take shelter in a cave, light a fire, and Spike comes clean to Cliff. Cliff stands guard as Spike realizes he needs to go into his dreams and face his fears. In the dream, he ends up seeing Fortress Maximus, who explains they're always connected. Then aboard the Ark, a headless Fortress Maximus body starts walking and jumps out into space.
Space!
The beasts see the smoke from the fire and find Spike and Cliff, and they flee. Chase number 2 is on, but they are quickly saved by headless Fortress Maximus. The beasts leave their pretender shells to fight, and Spike attempts to grab his helmet from Snarler's warthog horn from his shell. But as he's about to, the shells recombine and go to join the fight. They shoot down a chairlift to distract Fortress Maximus and force him to save some humans. And in the melee, Cliff gets a chance to help Spike by kicking the helmet off of the horn and getting it to Spike. Donning the helmet, Spike gets Fortress Maximus to release his armor, and then Cerebros, and then Spike recombines with Fortress Maximus to form his head. Fortress Maximus quickly defeats the Decepticon Pretender Beast with his leg cannons and saves the humans from the chairlift. The Decepticons flee, and this will be the first and last time we see the Pretender Beasts in the Marvel US run. And Spike and Cliff wrap up their ski trip, and that is the end of the issue. In the December 1988, that's when it was published, it's not what's on the book, the December 1988 issue of Transformers wrapping up the year of 1988 for Marvel US. So kind of not a huge story with consequences here, but the binary bonding process is explored a little deeper here. And I think that is something worth mentioning and talking about, that Spike and Fortress Maximus are telepathically connected in a way that he doesn't need the helmet to get in touch with him. But it helps, I guess, because he needed it to recombine. This is an interesting thing that I don't think gets explored much, of what happens when an organic creature is binary bonded to a Cybertronian. And so there you have it. We have one of the greatest pieces of lore, the Underbase, which is sadly, horribly forgotten by the powers that be. I don't think we didn't get any inkling of it in the IDW comics for the length of the run that they had. We've never really gotten mention of it in a movie, or really in a TV series since ever. No, not even since ever, because this solely exists within these the first three issues we talked about. Part 1 was was the Club Con episode issue, which really doesn't have a lot to do with the Underbase. It is very much a prequel to the Underbase story. So it's going to be fun to see what Simon Furman does with this for the in-between issues, and if there's any sort of exploration of the Underbase lore there. And then as a fandom, I really do hope that if you've heard this episode, go out and evangelize the Underbase for how cool it is, because this is something that I think could have a lot of potential in modern media and a lot of modern Transformers TV and comics. So if you love the Underbase, hit me up on... Ooh, I almost said the T word. Hit me up on Blue Sky, TFU.INFO.bsky.social. You can also catch me pretty much on all the social media as TFU.INFO, all one word, and then on the former Bird site as TFU_info. I don't check it very often, but I do pop over there just to see if anyone's trying to get in touch with me. So with that, I want to thank you once again for joining this show. And I'm sure you want to know what we're going to talk about next episode, but you'll have to wait till after this.
Thanks for listening to the show. Stick around to hear what's coming up next episode, but first, I want to fill you in on a few ways you can stay in touch with the show. Want to be on the show? Leave us a voicemail at 702-763-4838. That's 702-POD4TFU. Or send an email to info@tfu.info. Be sure to catch us on Twitter at TFU_info and on Facebook and Instagram under the username TFU.INFO, all one word. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TFU.INFO, where we post all of our podcasts, plus special video segments, reviews, and live coverage of Transformers-related events such as New York Toy Fair and New York Comic Con. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please visit us at www.tfu.info, the world's longest-running transforming toy archive.
Next time on Transformers University, pretty sure you probably would have guessed, we're returning back to Japan to talk some more Master Force. We'll do Master Force episodes 16 through 19. I don't know what they're about. It's my first time watching it. And so, if it's your first time, join in with me. We've got some Optimus racing around. Oh, I have a feeling I know what they're about. I think we're about to meet the God Masters, the Power Masters in the U.S. I feel like the next 3 episodes are going to be spotlight episodes to sell those toys. But that's just my guess. I haven't watched them, so I don't know. But we'll find out in the next episode of Transformers University. Until then, I am your host, Anthony Bricali, owner, operator, madman behind TFU.info. See ya.
Transformers University, brought to you by TFU.INFO. Where the stories unfold, the legends grow with the owner, operator, madman, Anthony Bricali. It's the place to be. It's the place to be. Tune in, transform and roll out with us at Transformers University.